Hello everybody, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. It's been a few days since I've recorded on this game, as you may have noticed, and it's mostly due to the fact that there was the sheer amount of work I ended up having to do. It was much more than I anticipated when I first started out trying to create that space station to send to our target, which is, I've suddenly forgotten the name. Duna. That's right, Duna. I was thinking Minmus because I did a short, quick mission to Minmus to practice a lander I had made. I will show you that right away in a moment, but look at all this debris I've left, creating this station, which is back here. There's just stuff everywhere in my orbit now. But yes, if I zoom out here, you will see over here I have landed a rover on let's see, which one is it? It's this one, on Minmus here. Mostly just to test out the design, and I might play a little bit of footage of me doing that landing somewhere at some point. It went well for the most part. It just turns out that because the gravity is so light and because the lander is so extraordinarily light that it's very, very difficult to control. It wants to do wheelies, and if I could have, I would have redesigned it before I had already launched another one up. I have the same design here, and I have another one called the, where is it? It's this one, isn't it? The Red Rover. Both of these will launch right before, well, not launch, but I will send these off towards Duna right before I launch my station towards Duna. So both of those will be slightly ahead of time heading over there, and the goal behind that is to have the Red Rover land on Duna itself, while the Antlander will land on its moon. Ike, is it? I think it's Ike. Yes, Ike. And both of those will be our first scouts before we actually get there ourselves, but at that point in time the station should be going along with it. Now I will need to note that before I started recording this, I intended on recording in 720p, mostly just because the command center here is causing me a lot of lag, and I think what the deal is just because of how much physics it's trying to emulate and just keeping it up. I think it'll get a little better because I have the fueling station still connected to it. But let's quickly look at this because I said I would, just to show you the this lander and its situation here on Minmus. We are in the ground a little bit here. Here's my little lander. It's just a small lander for landing on small surfaces like this. I had plenty of fuel to actually perform the landing, so I'm hoping it'll be the same case whenever I go to Ike. I'm not sure how big Ike is in comparison to Minmus. I assume Ike is bigger, but I'm not really sure. I haven't taken a real close look at it, to be quite honest. I didn't put there's no scientific instruments on this. Mostly the idea is for these to get down and check the surface, see if there's good landing places, but as you can see, that was just barely tapping to move forward, and it wants to do wheelies immediately. Barely putting any pressure behind it. So to move around is pretty difficult, and I can do some crazy spinouts. On the plus side, though, is the fact that because it's so light and there's so little gravity, if you do start to lose control and spin out, it doesn't really take any damage, which is convenient. But you just don't have any control while you're down here. And I'm flipping. So there's not a whole lot I can do with this. There's my phone telling me I can see a satellite in 10 minutes, but it's cloudy, so I cannot. Now let's put the brakes on. We'll leave this here. Oh, might be flipping it. Okay, we're good. Let that settle and let that sit there. I don't know how much I'll be doing this, but I will be leaving this on the surface for now. Maybe, yeah, this is still in orbit. That's I did it as a sky crane type setup. I believe the red lander is, well, actually it's kind of a sky crane. It's kind of a weird setup. I don't think NASA would ever set anything up like I'd set that thing up, but I'm hoping it'll work. I was able to land successfully on Kerbal, so I'm hoping it'll work just as well on Duna. So let's head back to the Space Center here. And first things first is probably to get these, I will quickly show you the command center, and then I will start positioning these lander rovers to head towards Duna. Open up the command center here, fly this, and I do warn it will lag. I've been getting 5 frames a second with this, so I don't expect anything better. I have, there is only one part of this setup that I have opted out of doing here at the last minute. What was that sound? Did you hear that? What was that? Currently have 4 frames a second. Hopefully that, yeah, back up to 5. But as you can see, it's very laggy. But there's just so much stuff attached to this that it's not really all that shocking. This back part I will probably dispose of because I've filled everything up that I can, RCS and this. I've completely drained all the RCS in this, and so there's a few spots on this ship that don't have RCS, but really I think we have enough. We have these 3 things here filled, we have this main one here filled, and we have 4 of these filled here, and most of the actual ships that use RCS already have full RCS. So we have almost all the RCS fuel that we can possibly have. All of our crew, we have, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 crew, I believe. Oh, no, 8, I think. 2 that were in each of these, 3 that was in this, 4, and then we had the one other guy. Yep, 8. We have 8 crew, so I think that's plenty. We have our 2 heavy tug droids, 4 small ones, and our 4 satellites, 2 comm and 2 observational, one for each of Duna and Ike. So that's the whole mission. The only thing I've opted out of taking up with us is the lander cart. I got one into orbit, but it was just barely. What is that? Got a little light there. Where are we over? It's somewhere over here. Weird. Anyway, was that lander cart that I had made. I got one into orbit, but I got it into orbit basically using RCS fuel, and it doesn't have anything to really get it up over here. So I mean, I think if I put enough effort into it, I could get it to this ship and get it docked. But I think if I'm going to use one, I'll send it up as a mission later on and have it be on its own rocket and take it over. I don't think it's worth the time and effort to try to get that thing docked. Just getting some of this stuff docked was an absolute hassle. Getting this fuel station docked literally took me about 2 hours. It was insane. So, I mean, I've put a lot of work into trying to get this all up here and set up. And I think at this point right now, I'm going to go ahead and undock this and see if this helps out my frame rate, because I don't need the fuel anymore. I've already fueled up as much as I can. The only problem with this is the fact that it doesn't have any engines on it at this point. So it is, that's the reason behind that is because, it came up here with engines. This was the engine bay on it. I've taken the engine bay off from back here and reattached it up here to be our main engines for our command center. This whole setup has probably been at least 30 plus dockings and undockings to get it together. So at this point I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, chatter is still on, by the way. So that is undocked. That's a separate thing. Let's what engines do I have active here? Are they these here? shut down? Okay, yeah, it is those. And just back away from that a little bit. And we still have 5 frames a second. And let's see real quick. Is there anything? I do have a few SAS modules I could probably dispose of, but I find it hard to get rid of stuff like that in case I need it. That's, I guess, part of the problem of having a very modular ship is the fact that you got to plan ahead, and because this thing is supposed to be, I need this to be prepared to do anything I need it to do. So getting rid of, I have an SAS module here and one over here somewhere, right here, that I could get rid of. I don't technically need them, but I have a hard time just choosing to drop them. So I'll keep them with me, even though it's probably completely unnecessary. So with that said, let's go back to the Space Center and get into these landers. Let's go with the Red Rover rocket first and fly this. Now this is the farthest steps I'm going to be taking to get out of our immediate solar system here. Or not solar system, but what do I mean? Our planetary system. Because the farthest I've ever been out of our homeworld is to Minmus. So, and that happened literally 30 minutes ago or so. So we want to. Minmus is about the side that we want to head right now. So we want to put maybe our maneuver somewhere over here, I'm guessing, because we want to pull off like this and have gravity slingshot us out that way, I think. So make this bigger. Zoom out. See how this looks. I'm pulling the right thing. Okay, so maybe we need to pull this forward more. I've never gone to Duna before, so I don't know what the procedure is to do such. Back maybe. It's gonna take Duna forever to get all the way over there. Maybe I may be too close to Duna. I think I might be able to still do it, but I'm thinking Duna is not in the right place. Pull this out again. Duna's, it's right there because it's Ike. Something. Where is that putting us? We won't cross against Duna until all the way over here. I may have screwed up. I may be too close. Hopefully all it'll take is some tweaking, but we may be too close and may need more fuel than what would normally be required. Okay, after playing with this for a good while, I finally seem to have gotten into a capture here. So, I'm just gonna wait a while for this. And then probably a few hours after, we'll try and launch the Ant Rover. And then once again, maybe a few hours after that, or maybe yeah, probably a few hours after that, I'll try and send our station in after. So actually I might try to wait a little longer for the station. So let's go ahead and speed this up. Or let's turn our SAS off and see about. Can't really rotate this thing too good. I'm hoping we have enough fuel to do this burn. Not 100% convinced. let's actually SAS back on for right now, RCS back off, and let's speed up and get closer into position because we have another 30 minutes otherwise. Get down to maybe 5 minutes or so. Oop, that's past that, but we gotta quickly flip around now to facing the right way. I'm not sure how well this lander's going to do, to be quite honest. We want to face towards the blue marker. So Duna's over there. Get on the blue here. I don't want to use up too much RCS because I don't have a huge amount on this ship. Just 100. We're already down to 80 something though. So hold about there. Check our map here one last time. Make sure we're going to Duna for sure. I'm prepared to do this burn. So it's... not sure how long I'm going to have to burn for, to be quite honest. It says 1 minute and 23 seconds. I have doubts about that. Let's speed up time ever so slightly here. Get it down to about 20 seconds or so before I start sending this thing off to Duna. And this is within, still pretty far away, but we'll work with it. Power up this, and it's going to be a 4-minute burn. Wow. I guess that's not too shocking. I'm just hoping we have enough fuel to get out of the atmosphere, or not atmosphere, but out of the influence of Kerbal, and still have enough fuel to make this happen. Okay, we're down to about another 20 seconds or so before this burn is supposedly over. Fuel, I guess, is doing okay. I'm still a little concerned about it. Reposition, make sure we're staying on the blue. 8 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1, and cut it. Let's remove our... this doesn't look to be the same. I'm a little concerned. Doesn't okay, we are coming closest approach. It's still like 1 billion miles away. But I'm just gonna say good enough for now, and when we get closer we'll try to figure it out from there. Let's switch over to our next rover and get its position set up. Let's check our map real quick, or not our map, but out of our map. Say goodbye to Kerbal because we are heading to Duna. At least this is. Can we see? No, we can't see the other rover from here. It's way far away. Let's head back to the Space Center. Let that fly freely. It did have its solar panels out, so we don't have to worry about it losing power. So let's load this up. Fly. Loading. Okay, so we got this one loaded up. Sky crane and all. And we will... I'm not so sure that this is gonna... I don't think I have the fuel on this one to make it, to be quite honest, but It doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Let's see. Add maneuver. About here-ish. Set this as target. Oh, I love adding maneuvers. Okay, so we got something here. Maybe I'll be able to use less fuel. This might actually end up getting there quite a bit later. Then our first one, that's still really far away, but I think I'm just gonna go with that. How long is that? 45 days. Wow, that's really long. The other one, I believe, I was gonna get there in about 23 days. I don't want it to be so far apart. Let's I want to get maybe 30 days. That would be fine. 34. Put a little more thrust into it. Move this back. Oh, we actually had a capture there. 37 days. It's more than I want, to be quite honest, but it's using not too much fuel, I don't think. So let's actually quickly check what is, oh, it's right here, -1. That's really not that bad, especially at that distance. I'm gonna go with this right here. So let's see, that means we're gonna have to wait an hour and 5 minutes to do this burn, so that's fine. Let's speed up time so we don't have to wait a real hour and 5 minutes. Speed up. And there that one goes, rocketing off. And 5 minutes, let's go ahead and get into position. I'm not sure where it's going to be at. Again, hoping we have the fuel to do this burn and then still slow down once we get there. I won't be shocked if we don't have the fuel for it, but you never know. I kind of wish I had made my station out a little farther in this orbit, just so it would have cost us less fuel to get this thing going. Where's my marker at? Oh, there it is. So slow this down. Way down. Get on target. Let's speed up time a little bit here. Get it down to about 20 seconds again like I did previously, so we don't have to wait forever. And here. Okay, so hopefully we have the fuel to get out of here. Let's start this thing up in 3, 2, 1. Full throttle. And this is saying a 2-minute burn. Do I guess I had a different engine on here. I don't really remember. No, this is the same engine. It is in a farther orbit though, so maybe that's what is making it a little easier. I don't want to overheat my engine. So I'll watch that for a minute here. It always seems to stop right here. It doesn't seem like this overheats so much. 36 days. Whew, that's a long time. That means our crew is gonna have to wait a similar time as well. They're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to set up their burn so that they end up coming in maybe 40 days or so that I can make sure that they come in after these rovers come in. These atomic engines are great for these long distance travels, and I need to probably put out these. I almost forgot to do that, because it would be horrible if we ran out of power. 10 seconds till we stop burning. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Now we will course correct once we get a little closer, but for now, that's got us going pretty much on the right path. So we got, hopefully we won't run into that. I don't think we will. Got this rocket, or this, this rocket going out here. Got this one going at a slightly different angle. So those should be perfectly safe from each other, coming in days after each other. So, yeah, this should be fine here. So let's go back to the Space Center. And finally, load up our station here. Fly this thing and try to get this out of our orbit, and heading for Duna. It's about time. It's been I'm not even sure how many days I've been working on this now. I'd have to go look at the last video I released. I didn't mean for this to take as long as it has. And look at that lag. Oh man, I am sorry about that. I don't like to release videos that are laggy and stuff, but I really can't prevent it in this case. Let me zoom out here. And 1,000 kilometers away, 44 days from now. For right now, to be quite honest, that's close enough for me that I think we can do that and then maneuver it from there. And did I? I've been saying kilometers here. They're like 1,000 kilometers, and that's not even close to being right. Look at that. It's showing it in kilometers, not meters. That's, what is that? That's 1,000,000 kilometers. Close enough, you know what I mean. But we'll do that, and we will course correct once we're out of Kerman's pull here. It'll be a little easier to course correct once we're out of Kerman orbit. So open up our resources here, and we got 17 minutes before we do our burn. In this case, let's speed up a little bit. I will do a quick save right now. Can I quick save while I'm accelerated? Let me try that again. Yep, there we go, quick saving. That's the first time I've done it here in a little while. So let's speed up for now and get this to about maybe 10 minutes or so, at which point I will take a moment to try and actually get us into position, because I'm not sure how hard this is going to be to maneuver. I went past 10 minutes because I wasn't really thinking there. SAS off. And I'm not using any RCS right now. We're getting a little bit of movement, but it's really not going to be fast enough, I don't think. Let's turn our RCS on. I hope this doesn't rip the ship apart. Do a little short burst here. Luckily, so far, just using the SAS without any RCS has been pretty stable. It tends to keep the ship going straight and doesn't seem to wiggle us apart too much, even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SAS modules, like advanced SAS modules, and then another 2, 3, 4, let's see, 4, 5, 6, I think 6 just normal SAS modules. So the fact that the ship doesn't rip itself apart is pretty amazing. Although it might be part of the lag. Who's to say? Try not to use too much propellant here in maneuvering this around, just because a lot of our equipment runs on it. So we want to just use it to get in position here. Just short little burst at a time. Once we get on that blue though, and we get turn the SAS on that, we're generally facing the right way from there on. Go ahead and start trying to slow this down. Right about here, turn the SAS on, RCS off, and let that stabilize itself. It's not doing too well with that, it doesn't look like. That back on the blue. It is a little wobbly, but with a ship like this, you kind of expect it, to be honest. It is just held together by like 5 decouplers along its center point, so really not much of a shock here. Get on the blue, for God's sake. Why are you going so far? Just stay there. We'll speed up the time a little bit. Once we kick on the engines, it should be a little easier to get on the blue and keep it there. So get this down to maybe 30 seconds or so. Whoa, that's way past 30 seconds. Let's start kicking the engines on now, to be quite honest. Just a little bit to make sure we're in position here. And our estimated burn time is all over the stupid place. We have no idea how long we're supposed to burn. So, full burn in 5, 4, 3, 2, and throttle all the way up. A little laggy, and this is saying who knows how long this is saying. Let's check our ship here, make sure things are looking okay. This is the first time I've actually throttled this up, so I have no idea how well this is going to go. I'm actually going to pull in our solar panels, not that I'm scared that they're going to rip off, but it just seems like a good idea. We got our overheat notice, but again, these are atomic rockets, and I haven't really seen them overheat, to be quite honest. We've got some weird shadow effect going on there. Open up the map here. It's 13 minutes. Good lord. That is a long, long time. I really hope we have enough fuel. I mean, I know we have all the fuel in here, but I don't know how long it'll last for. We have this too. I don't think I would have been able to keep that other fuel tank. Had I been able to, that would have been useful, because it had another almost half or full tank of this, like this. So we may end up with less fuel than I was really hoping for if this stays as high as it is. 13-minute burn, wow. Luckily these atomic rockets really don't take too much fuel to function. I may, however, need to turn them down a little bit to cause our burn to last a little longer if this stays like this for too long. I cannot risk blowing these engines up. Worst case scenario, this fuel tank does have engines on it, but I mean, that's not really ideal. That's more of an emergency thing. If like one of these engines breaks or something and I have to dispose of this back end, we still have some kind of propulsion system. So Let's do a little bit of crazy maneuver course correction here. Just crazy in the sense that I probably shouldn't even be trying right now. Actually, I'm pressing it and it's really not wanting to maneuver too much. Let's just, come on, click on. Hold there. Ooh, a little wobbly. Stay stable though. Another 12 to 10 minutes, who knows? It's so unsure of itself. That is a long time. So, probably going to be a cut here because this is a very long burn. I hope we get it somewhere in the right area. Like I said, once we get out of the Kerbal orbit here, it should be a little easier to maneuver. So, and we'll catch you once this burn is done. Okay, so at this point what I've decided is this is not going to work currently. What I'm going to need to do is, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to push my orbit out. Because as things currently stand, it's still saying 10 minutes, and by the time 10 minutes is up, I'll be over here. And that's not anywhere near this line, and I'll be way off by the time you calculate how far off this is out into the depths of space. So I'm going to take this out to about a 1,000-kilometer orbit around Kerbal here, and then get the other side lined up, and I'll try to burn from out here, and that should make getting out of our atmosphere a little easier. And luckily we do, I think, have plenty of fuel, so I don't think fuel's going to be too much of a problem. I might go out a little farther than 1,000 just because that's kind of close to this, and I don't want to risk anything, to be quite honest. So go ahead and full throttle up again for a minute here. Get this maybe 1,020 kilometers or something. Okay, that's plenty there. And it's going to take us 33 minutes just to get over there. Get rid of this. And we'll recalculate that here after a while. So, speed this up, and we're finally away from all this debris. Look at all that stuff. That's just from putting this thing together. It's everywhere. I was so careful about not leaving debris up there before, but what are you going to do? A lot of that could probably be gotten rid of over time just by moving some stuff around. Some of it may actually still have power and be under control. So, I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But let's get a little closer to this. We're in a retro burn status here, so let's, I guess, get a little closer to this. Get maybe 8 minutes or so away. RCS on. Get this thing flipped around. Okay, so after a good long while, we're finally getting out of the Kerman influence here, and we're nowhere near on target where we need to be quite honest. Our closest approach over here is apparently pretty random. It's approximately 3 3.3 million kilometers away, but to be quite honest, I've spent about 20 minutes, like almost 20 minutes, either throttling out of orbit here, or just adjusting and getting into another position. So the fact that I'm finally just out away from this, once I get out away from Kerman, I think actually repositioning and really going in the right direction will be a lot easier. We are actually going to be moving away, so once we get farther away from it, once we get out over here, once we hit the escape, I think we can actually adjust this thing. So I'm going to call this episode here. Not a whole lot really interesting got done. Most of it was just spent me getting things into position for next episode, where most of the action is going to start happening. So I mean, it's been a little boring this time, but next time we're going to have 2 rovers landing, and we're going to be getting our space station into orbit around Duna, or at least that's the plan. Hopefully, if on the plus side, if one of these missions goes wrong, we hopefully have another 2 to have as a backup. So I'm going to quick save right here. Quick saving. Boop, boop. And so hopefully all this goes as planned. The first part of next episode is going to be spent readjusting these things a little bit to get them into a more correct path towards Duna. And then from there we will be performing their individual missions. So I hope you've enjoyed this boring, laggy episode, and I will see you next time when we start to approach Duna and its moon Ike. Until then, I'll see you next time.